All right, now it's time for the portion of this assignment where I analyze my batting form. Some things very important to keep in mind, as mentioned in the video, are making sure that I'm balanced, making sure that I have the proper feet placement, preferably shoulder width apart, maybe a bit wider, making sure that I distribute my weight evenly between both feet, making sure that I bend my knees slightly to just keep myself flexible and, not just too stiff. Making sure I have the proper grip on the bat. And definitely making sure that I have the proper distance from the plate, and I could use the bat to do that. The timing and rhythm, making sure I hit the ball in the right spot. Since there's no pitch here, it's pretty more important to just aim and have the eye on the ball, keeping the eye on the ball. But yeah, so same thing as in the throwing video. I'm going to play the video twice times all the way through, and I'll say my initial reactions, and after that, we'll get into freeze frames. All right, so here's time one. All right, here's time two. As you can see, I'm basically extending my arms to see where the bat would hit, and I'll get into that a bit later. So yeah, my initial reaction to this, first I noticed that my legs were swinging, which is good. I'm getting into the rhythm of things, which is definitely important before hitting the ball. However, I feel like my actual swing was kind of divided in two parts, which is definitely not something that I like to see. My arms and shoulders actually made contact with the ball and swung all the way around, and I felt like my hips and legs didn't actually move that much. I feel like I'm supposed to swing my whole body, and my arms pretty much only... I feel like my arms were the only part of me that really swung initially, which makes the swing itself look kind of bad. But we'll get into the freeze frames now. So here, about 2 seconds into the video, I'm in my stance here, and the first thing I want to look at is my distance from the tee to me. The distance looks good. I remember measuring the bat on the floor between my legs, my feet, and the tee, which is how you're supposed to do it. It's proper distance. That's definitely good. In terms of the actual distance between my feet, I do feel like my stance is a bit too wide here, but I found that a wider stance actually allowed me to hit the ball with more force. And I saw in the video that it depends on your preference in terms of the stance. As long as it's not too thin or too wide, I don't think this seems to be too much of a problem. And I seem to be squared as well. So that's definitely good. Now, in terms of my shoulder here, I find that my back shoulder is, well, not really my back shoulder, but my back elbow isn't pointed upwards as much as I would like it to be. And as a resultant of that, my left shoulder, my front shoulder, isn't really aimed down enough. And the point of those two things is that it allows you to really just generate the most amount of power when you swing into the ball. So negative things here, perhaps too wide of a stance, and the elbow on my back arm not up enough, and front shoulder not down enough. Now, this freeze frame actually occurs right as I made contact with the ball. And initially, the first thing that I realized here is that I actually kind of missed the ball and I made contact with the tee. And in my opinion, that is a direct result of not keeping my eye on the ball and rather thinking too much about the form or being distracted by something else. It's very crucial to keep your eye on the ball so you hit it right in the sweet spot. Now, another thing that's important to notice here is that my arms aren't fully extended. This is very bad because in order to get the most amount of power, you need to use the full extension of your arms and have them fully straight out. It's very clear here that I'm short arming this attempt. And I remember, Paul, you on the last day, you came over and fixed that. So that's definitely good. But this was before that, and it's very evident that my short arming was a problem. This taught me to actually use the technique of doing a practice swing, a mock swing, and just lining up my bat and making sure that it would hit the sweet spot fully extended and I wouldn't have to short arm it like this, which is actually hurt my shoulder. I remember this attempt actually hurt my shoulder because I was so short armed and it didn't really make contact with the ball. So it actually put a lot of pressure on my inside shoulder. So this definitely was the flaw here. And this is the final freeze frame, but I felt that it was important to mention something here. As I stated before, I did feel like my arms fully swung, but my body did not follow, or legs. This freeze frame actually kind of proves that. As you can see, my hands are positioned closely together, which is good. That means that the grip on the bat was good. But after my follow through here, you could see that my legs and feet are still pointed straight. So essentially what happened was I just moved my upper body, and not even my full upper body, my hips are also still facing exactly towards the pitcher, which is a problem. In this case, I just moved my shoulders and hands and arms, which is not good. And as I've stated many times, and it seems to be a reoccurrence of mine, is that I don't tend to incorporate my momentum with the body. I don't use that to my advantage, which is definitely a flaw, and I'm definitely going to work on that. But I mean, right in this picture, that's what comes to mind. I'm not using the momentum and the swing of my body that I could be using from the lower body, hips, all that. So that's definitely what I'm going to look up to work on. Now for the drills. The first drill that I'm definitely going to be using is the full body rotation drill. And the goal of this one is to fix my arm only swing that I've been doing. And obviously the objective is to kind of develop a full body rotation and then to eliminate the tendency that I have to rely on my arms for the swing and only my arms. So the instructions for this one is to basically set up in the batting stance in front of the tee and, just set up, hold the bat in the regular grip and basically get into the right stance and all that. And then as I initiate my swing, I want to emphasize the hip turning and shoulders simultaneously toward the pitcher. What that means is I want to make sure that my hips and shoulders are swinging at the same time, not just arms first. And what this means is that I don't really need a ball in front. I'm just practicing the motion here, and I repeat this over and over again. And the more I do it, I will develop a muscle memory of turning and swinging my hips and shoulders simultaneously, which will ensuingly improve my power of hitting. Now, the next drill is going to be the extension drill, and this is for fixing my short arm problem. And the goal of this is to set up a tee, put the ball on this time, and then take my regular stance and prepare to swing. However, this time, as I'm swinging, I really want to focus on extending my arms fully through this hitting zone rather than just short arming it. And I kind of talked about this in the video already. However, I did start at the end of baseball weekend before I hit, to line up my bat with the tee and make sure that I am making perfect contact in the sweet spot as my arms are fully extended. So the goal of this drill is to essentially just repeat that over and over again and actually hit the ball this time. That way I'm learning what works for me and what works the best in terms of hitting efficiency, but also just making sure that I get that muscle memory once again. I've realized that a lot of these drills basically have the intention of developing that muscle memory, which is a great thing, of course. My third and final drill for this project would definitely be just a simple hitting drill on the tee. However, not just simple. The goal of this is to develop my target focusing skills. And the way that I would do this was I would hold myself to a certain standard. I'd put the ball on the tee, and I would say, you're not able to put the bat down until you hit 10 balls in a row. This might be hard. However, I will focus and pay a lot of attention, and I will be motivated to do this. And I know that I have the capability of doing it. The reason that I was missing the ball, in my opinion, is because I was rushing it. If I take my time and really pay attention to where I want to hit the ball and keep my eye on the ball, I don't think that I'll have much trouble with this drill. The importance of the drill is for me personally to teach myself to have the discipline to take time and focus and to be patient. So those were my 3 drills for the batting exercises, and I hope you followed along and enjoyed. Thank you.